never ever put this much work or heart and
Oh, we've seen this before, I think.
in my entire life, let alone my entire career.
It's good though. Maybe on another channel.
The event that sold 5,500 tickets for an event that only holds room for 1,150.
She needs to give everybody their money.
Oh shit!
Oh my god, dude.
The most anticlimactic endings.
Dude, imagine you make an event
Everybody.
and you see this. Oh my god, dude. I think this makes oh dude, I can't.
I waited for 6 hours at Tanacon and gave up waiting because I was sunburned and sick. Here's my Tanacon experience. It was awful.
This show couldn't get any worse.
So are you shutting down the whole event?
Horrible, just disaster of a convention.
The fans were legitimately scammed.
Before the event took place, it had been hyped as one of the greatest ideas in YouTube history.
I'm excited for Tanacon. It's just...
After the event had concluded, it was dubbed by many as the worst decision ever. Tanacon was its name. A convention hosted by Tana Mojo, an LA influencer who's best described as something like the female version of Jake Paul. Hilariously, when looking back in retrospect, for the event, disaster was almost inevitable. What else could you expect besides catastrophe when 20,000 people show up to a venue that holds less than 5,000? Would you expect anything different?
Yeah, I really don't mind disasters. They're entertaining, and it's a good description of like social media and influencer. If it's a bit of a disaster, I don't think that I don't agree with when it comes down to people's safety. If they went in, there's actual safety concerns or whatever. Now it's like I'm not only now that there's actual concerns.
20,000 people show up to a venue that holds less than 5,000.
Like when there's too many people in the place, when it breaches security fucking protocols and shit, that's a whole different story.
Cancelled when they finally make it to the front.
Today it has been cancelled completely.
Would you expect anything different when the whole thing was planned over a period of less than 40 days?
Conventions take years.
And what
they
month?
take months.
Was that this year?
That was 40 days ago, maybe.
I think all of the rebelled people and all of the unwanted people should host a little meet and greet in Anaheim, California on the same days as VidCon.
The catastrophic idea for Tanacon crystallized just 80 days prior to the event taking place, initially being teased in a 1 hour and 20-minute rant video posted on the 3rd of April 2018 titled Why I Won't Be Attending VidCon 2018, a rant. In this video, as you might assume from the title, Tana ranted about her first 2 years
Guys, VidCon, send me a message, guys. They want me to do a panel or some shit, chat. What even it is VidCon?
In 2016 and
It's like a YouTube thing
2017,
only or not?
stating that she had been treated poorly and unfairly by the organizers of the event.
You can't have a meet and greet here. We don't care if your fans are upset. We don't care if you're upset.
Then, to avoid a 3rd year of adversity, VidCon decided that they would bar Tana from the event completely.
They decided it would be better if they banned me from their event for life.
Which left Tana with a feeling of resentment towards VidCon as she was now no longer able to attend. However, Tana made a realization. She had literally millions of fans, many of whom were attending VidCon to meet her specifically. So why not just cut VidCon out altogether and host a smaller, cheaper, more personal meet and greet somewhere else in LA on the exact same day as VidCon with the goal of revenge? One of the top comments sums it up well, stating, "So this is the video that started it all." Approximately a month and a half later, after being approached by some inexperienced event organizers, Tana would announce Tanacon via Twitter, stating, "The first Tanacon will be on June 22nd to 23rd in Anaheim, California. Get ready. I promise you aren't ready. I have so many surprises in store, and you can attend for free. The first, small round tickets drop at 12 PST. Be refreshing. It's limited." The event looked awesome from the outset. A cheaper version of VidCon with an all-star lineup including influencers like Shane Dawson, the David Dobrik Vlog Squad, Bella Thorne, Emma Chamberlain. The list went on and on, each of which having their own scheduled performance or Q&A. Additionally, there was an initial round of $1 general admission tickets, making the event basically free for a few lucky individuals. However, perhaps the reason that Tana stated "I promise you aren't ready" in her initial tweet was maybe because she literally wasn't ready either. In the weeks leading up to the event for promotion, Tana would be interviewed by Forbes, during which the first few red flags would begin to show up, particularly when talking about how little planning had actually gone into the event before the announcement.
You didn't have anything rented, there was no press, there was no lineup, there was nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
That's pretty incredible.
Like, It's wild.
Yeah.
I'm a very last minute person, but
The lack of planning came off as kind of quirky and romantically impulsive, but as the date of the event came nearer and nearer, it would eventually be revealed to all that it should have been interpreted.
Guys, even with bad scheduling or whatever, I think you can still make this work somehow. I feel like if you get a place that has so much space, like a huge ass fucking place, they could have still made it. Yeah, they could have actually made it work though.
As
None
a complete
kidding.
lack of organization. The event began to fall apart before the day had even begun.
Guys, most of the problems behind this is space and numbers. Even if there's everything is disorganized, if you have a place that is safe enough, they can hold the numbers, it kind of works.
The night before Tanacon would take place, the event's opening time was changed from 8 AM to 6 AM. Now, this wasn't such a bad idea, as getting people into the event earlier would have offered a better experience overall. However, the next day, as the event was beginning, the opening was so poorly managed that the first set of people weren't even let into the event until 8:50 AM, meaning that even the earliest of attendees still had to wait 3 hours before being let into the event. Make sure to arrive early, the lines are going to be long, was deadly accurate regarding the part about the length of the lines. Considering no one was being let into the event, the lines began to get longer and longer and longer. Aerial videos filmed by those in their hotel rooms above showed lines that looked to be so long that they wrapped around the car park numerous times.
So you end up right here, but you start way
What
back
the
here.
fuck? Okay, dude.
I'm lost for words. Tanacon just went crazy.
Others who had filmed the whole event from the ground like plain rock vlogs also displayed the insanity of the lines from a first-person perspective.
Oh my god. Yeah, these lines are larger than VidCon's lines for sure.
However, the reason behind why the lines had become so long was not only due to the late opening as previously mentioned. There was one other short-sighted, perhaps even greedy reason. Far more tickets were sold comparative to the capacity of the venue.
The actual capacity, which included far more than the ballroom, was 3,192. So that still means that the event was oversold.
The Anaheim Marriott had a capacity of only 3,192. However, a total of 5,000 tickets were sold, leaving 1,808 ticket holders waiting in line for people to leave before they were able to enter. The problem, however, was that those who were already inside the event were not going to leave due to the long entrance line outside, creating a feedback loop, ultimately decreasing the probability even further that anyone waiting outside was going to be able to get in. And for those who were already inside, surely you wouldn't want to leave anyway, right?
But it's worth it because we're going in now and I'm so excited. Oh my gosh.
Guys, it's Tanacon. Anything con. What do you hold that in? A convention center? A fucking ballroom? Are you losing your fucking mind? Dude, these are huge influencers. Are you okay,
This
dude?
was Tanacon. It had been hyped as such an awesome
It's
event.
not the Tana Ball, motherfucker!
With so many cool creators. There must have been plenty going on inside, right? Well, no, not really. Inside the function, the hallways were so crowded that getting anywhere was uncomfortable. Shops were packed to the brim, making anything besides sitting down unenjoyable.
This is an absolute madhouse.
However, patrons who were inside were unable to sit down anyway, as according to security, it was a safety hazard to the event.
Everyone's just kind of wandering around looking at booths, but we're not allowed to wait in the hallway, which is the only place to sit because there's no space and it's unsafe, which I get.
Not realizing that there wasn't much going on inside, those outside continued to wait.
And note, it's been over 3 hours now, ever since the convention opened.
Tensions began to rise as people really started to come to terms with how poorly the event had been organized.
The tweets of 20,000 people waiting outside to come see me. Yeah, these people, we don't love you right now. Okay, Tana, if you're watching this, we don't love you right now. Just so you know. We're not happy people.
However, tensions weren't the only thing that began to rise. Additionally, the sun began to fly higher and higher into the sky. The event had been held in the middle of a hot summer, and those who were unprepared for the heat began to get burnt. Like, really burnt.
We were in line for almost 5 hours. Almost 5. And we got really sunburned.
Thanks for this, #Tanacon. Gotta love that Tanacon burn. I'm literally in so much pain from my sunburn at Tanacon, I really hope I get a refund. Also, as a result of the heat and lengthy lines, attendees were ill prepared with how much water they had brought. When there's 20,000 people lined up who might pass out due to the intense heat since they aren't getting any water for #Tanacon. A legitimate concern, as a few unlucky individuals did apparently pass out from the lack of water.
There's one girl that said her friend passed out.
Those who were lucky enough not to pass pass out continued to wait in the uncomfortable heat, while the others inside were having the time of their life, or so they assumed. Back inside, people continued to brave the packed, activity-scarce hallways in the hope that they would be able to do the one thing that many assumed they would get to do upon entering, meet their favorite creator. However, this was somewhat of a scam as well.
But apparently the meet and greets that are happening today, only 150 people get to participate in the meet and greets.
150
people that they signed up for.
Attendees, specifically the YouTuber Swell Entertainment, explained that despite the event selling 5,000 tickets, there are only 150 meet and greet spots available. Additionally, due to the insanity of the event, security would then decide that people were not allowed to leave after entering.
And now they're saying that if you leave, you can't get back in with your bag, your food. It's going to be a problem because there's no food here.
While this created a question regarding how people were going to eat given the lack of food in the venue,
Exactly. No food. Yeah. There's no food. We have nothing to eat.
it created an even bigger, more serious question. With a venue at maximum capacity and no one leaving due to an inability to re-enter, how were the people from outside going to get in? Well, to answer it simply, they weren't. And what did this do to their mood? Understandably, the people waiting outside just got angrier and angrier. Despite having sold 5,000 tickets for a venue that supported a little over 3,000, Bella Thorne, one of the celebrities performing, would tweet out when there's 20,000 people lined up outside for #Tanacon.
There is apparently 20,000 people in line right now.
This number was later disputed, but there was no doubt about it. There were way more than 5,000 people,
But I don't get it,
with
though.
tens of thousands of people
They didn't say were the activities prepared though. They seemed that they were doing some sort of really weird panel in some really
waiting out the front, all of which
bugged-ass
angry
room.
and annoyed at how long
That,
they've
like,
been
that
waiting.
holds, like,
Things
300 people or some
unsurprisingly
shit.
continued to escalate, and the front entrance of the event turned into somewhat of a riot. At 1:44 p.m,
weren't the tickets $1?
approximately 5 hours after the first round of people were let in, Tanacon admitted
Refund my
defeat, and the
dollar?
fire department showed up to officially shut the event down.
But like it's done. I don't know what's going on.
Those inside the event were not exactly rushing
They
to
was
leave,
free.
but understandably waiting for such a long period of time to get in.
Literally afraid to leave this hallway because I know I'm going to get kicked out.
However, eventually everyone inside steadily ushered out of the event. Those outside were treated to a much more dramatic cancellation of the event after one of the organizers announced it to the huge crowd of angry attendees.
Today it has been canceled completely. I apologize.
While those who were inside were on their way out, Tana herself would come outside into the crowd, attempting to calm the out-of-control mob.
Tana, you're kind of a safety hazard right now. You're kind of a safety hazard.
The crowd began to forgive her to some extent after she made the effort to face those who were unable
Jesus,
to get
man,
in.
these are
But
some
by this point, Tana's
chapped-ass
reputation
lips, bruh.
as a creator had absolutely
Holy
crumbled
shit,
after
man.
the first day ended in what can only be described as an absolute disaster.
The event got shut down today, but it was a
Well, I mean-
two-day event, right? So what's going on tomorrow? Is it still
Well-
happening tomorrow?
Later in the day, Keemstar would interview Tana Mojo to figure out what was happening on the second day of the event. Tana initially tweeted, moving the show to a new venue within minutes away from this one that holds an extra 5,000 people, and doing a free show with some very special guests. Tomorrow everything resumes normally, and Shane and I are working on some awesome cool stuff. We love you.
Okay,
However,
fair
at
enough.
9:47 p.m. that evening, it will be announced by the event organizers that the second day of Tanacon would be cancelled due to their inability to find a suitable venue to continue the event. At this point in time, there is no way to continue a successful weekend at Tanacon as is without risking the safety of you all. Shane Dawson, the individual considered to be one of the main acts at Tanacon, would take to Twitter stating, "Just found out Tanacon has been cancelled. I'm so sorry to anyone that came out here to see me. It wasn't my event, and if it was, it would have been run differently. I'm heartbroken looking at the videos of people waiting all day in the sun getting burnt." As the disastrous nature of the event was slowly revealing itself to the public, the focus began to shift back over to the creator and host of the event, Tana Mojo. What did she have to say? Was she instantly apologetic? Did she take to social media to explain? Well, no. She
No
just went silent
shots.
on all social media until 3 whole days later, when she would finally post a tweet stating, "Hi guys, I'm so sorry that it's taken me so long to tweet these tweets. I've been thinking, working, I didn't want to say dumb shit. I'm nervous, but hi, I love you, and I'm an idiot, and I'm sorry. But to be real, I didn't expect that many people to show up outside, which in hindsight was dumb as It was the same day as VidCon and I should have prepared better. Regardless of if people were telling me different, Tanacon is attached to me and I take full responsibility. Some of Tana's loyal fans believe that this post itself was enough to forgive her, stating, "Thank you so much for all of this, I honestly feel at peace and resolved, I still love you, thank you." However, for others, understandably, they still weren't happy. Unsubscribe from a YouTube channel until refunds are provided. But it wasn't only attendees that were finding it hard to forgive Tana. The creators, specifically Shane Dawson, had also been left with a bitter taste after the event had concluded.
I'm part of that, you know? My face was on the website. I told
Isn't that the cat guy?
And they got nothing.
So in the week after the event, Shane began to interview Tana trying to find out what on earth had gone wrong.
I want to talk to Tana and be like, what the were you thinking? Was this your fault? Whose fault was this? And why haven't you figured out a way to fix it?
Shane explored the main conspiracy being that the event was a deliberate failure for the purpose of giving exposure to both Tana and the host of the event.
They said, they were like, oh, I think that Good Times wanted this to fail so that they could get press out of it and become like, get promotion out of it.
This guy always looks like he's about to cry or some shit
there. They did want it to fail. And they were filming the whole thing. Why were they filming the whole thing?
While additionally getting Tana's explanation of what went wrong from her perspective. However, most importantly, this documentary gave Tana the ability to display her remorse for the failure of the event.
It's stupid and spiteful. It was so stupid. Planning my convention the same days as VidCon was so stupid.
Which fans could sense was genuine, and the reputation of Tana Mojo slowly began to repair itself in the month following the event. Additionally, many respected Tana for her ability to take total responsibility for the catastrophe.
I don't want to put the blame on anyone else. It's still my fault. You know.
Which would be fully displayed when she returned to YouTube a month later in her classic unfiltered self-deprecating style.
I have now been off of social media for over a month now, which is the longest break I have taken in over 3 years, and I'm an idiot. And I trusted a 20-year-old idiot who illusioned to me that it would be the best Tanacon in the world.
All of the requested refunds were eventually processed, her fans eventually forgave her, and her subscriber count still continued to climb after all was said and done. Tana even sucked up her pride and attended VidCon the following year.
So yeah, VidCon and I are friends again. We're going to VidCon! We're going to VidCon!
So, as they say, all is well that ends well.
While it was the worst thing ever, and I wish I could just erase it, I am very grateful for the person.
Okay, that was kind of weird. That wasn't as bad as the disaster of a whole time as I thought it would be. I thought it was gonna be a fucking absolute shit show, disastrous. It's not that bad.